The paramedic asked, "Miss, can you move your leg?" "I can't move it," I answered. "Miss, can you move your other leg?" "I can't move it either. Why can I not feel my legs? What's happening?" My heart was beating out of my chest as I tried to make sense of what was going on. I was surrounded by people I did not recognize, and God, I was so scared. This is how I got here. Early that year, committed to a plan that could help me achieve my goals, I thought, if I reach this financial goal by the end of the year, I'm going to be able to invest money, time, and finally focus in my business. I was eager to spread my message through my work, and I didn't want to waste that much time. So I worked as many hours as I could, working 18 hours a day. I was a server, bartender, and a coach, working from 6 a.m. to 1 a.m. until one night, the universe did for me what I couldn't do for myself. It slowed me down. I was working at the restaurant that night, and it was very late, and I was very exhausted. And we can call this chapter the door that wasn't there a moment ago. I swear. Yes, I walked into a glass door. And you know how funny it is when you see those videos of people walking into glass doors, and the harder they hit, the funnier it is? Well, it's not that funny when it happens to you. Hours later, covered in blood, half unconscious, and in the worst pain I've ever been in, I found myself in the emergency room. There was so much noise and confusion, and my head was spinning. The doctor said, "Miss, you have a brain injury, and it's going to take time for you to fully recover and fully function." At the time, I didn't know what the doctor meant by that. I thought, wait, I have what? No, I have work to do. I have to admit, I did not believe what the doctor was saying. I thought, that doesn't happen to happy, positive people. I'm sure I will be totally fine by next week. So I did what any positive person would do. I ignored what the doctor said. I tried to rest, but I didn't take it too seriously until I couldn't handle the physical pain. All the signals in my brain were shutting down, and one morning I woke up worse than ever. The pain was horrible, so I went to the pharmacy, and on the way back, I passed out in the elevator. Someone called the ambulance, and I walked to the paramedic, trying to get me back, and I couldn't feel or move half of my body. I was terrified and in total panic. I didn't know what to do. And in that moment, I realized the doctor was definitely not kidding. That was my wake-up call. I knew in that moment something had to change. The following months were the worst. I was fighting back in the best way I could, pretending on social media that I was someone I was not, lying to my family back home about my situation, completely broke. I was hiding and scared. Things got worse. I couldn't retain information like usual or work in any capacity. I was spending all my money, and I was not getting better. My memory was failing me. My sight was messed up. And there were times I couldn't sustain a conversation for longer than half an hour. And if you know me well, you know I like talking. I was completely devastated, not understanding why this was happening to me. So when I no longer was able to control the situation, I did the only thing I could. I turned to Spirit. I surrendered to my situation, and I went into a journey of acceptance. Yes, I had to accept that this was in fact happening, and it would not go away overnight. Acceptance was the key to my reinvention. It was time to let go of my plans and trust that my struggles were part of a bigger plan to help me get closer to consciousness, to help me remember the power in me that somehow I had forgotten. I had to forgive myself for getting into this mess, and when nothing seemed to make sense back then, I had to find happiness in the unique insanity of where I was. It was time to practice what I preach. I didn't magically recover. I saw 23 doctors, including specialists and physiotherapists, and it took me a year and 4 months to fully recover from my brain injury. But magic did happen. when I finally accepted my situation. Somehow, in the middle of the chaos, more people were getting to know about my business and were curious about it. I discovered that there is, in fact, a spiritual guidance available to all of us beyond our comprehension, but nothing can interfere unless we learn to ask. This accident led me to opportunities and risks I would not have taken otherwise. You know, I need this speech more than anyone. Writing this speech was my therapy to no longer feel bad for what happened. Sharing it with you was my way to tell the universe, I am ready to be free from misperceptions about who we are and who we are not. Long ago, I have chosen to believe that in any moment of adversity, we can choose to reinvent our lives. Now, I have learned that reinvention begins with acceptance. Acceptance of our current circumstances and acceptance of the possibility of better. Today, I have accepted that nothing happens by accident, that there is in fact a reason behind our struggles, that letting go of our plans can create new ones, and the decision to accept where we are help us become the authors to reinvent our own stories. Thank you, everyone.